Hello mini adventurers and welcome to a Mini Adventures Co tutorial. Today we're going to look at how to lay hardwood floors in a dollhouse with a super realistic look. So let's get started. I'm going to be adding flooring to just a plain room box that I made out of plywood and glued together, and I already have the walls painted. So now I just want to put hardwood floors down on the floor. And what I use for hardwood floors is this Veneer Edging. You can get it at like Home Depot or Lowe's, or you can find it on Amazon, and I will link it in the comments. So it's real wood veneer edging. I get the birch, and it stains beautifully. It is actual wood on top, and I get the kind that is 3/4 of an inch wide. It's pretty realistic. And it's so thin that you can actually use regular scissors to cut it. So you'll need some of this. You'll need, depending on the size of your dollhouse, usually I use about a roll per floor, maybe a little less, and it comes in 25 feet in a roll. And then for cutting it, I use this paper cutter, but you can also just use scissors. I just happen to have a paper cutter. You'll need an iron because it's an iron-on. It comes with glue on the back of the edging, so you just use heat to attach it. And then you'll need whatever you want to finish it. I'm going to be whitewashing mine today, so I have my whitewash pickling with a paintbrush, but you can stain it or paint it however you choose. And then I have a notebook over there for planning out how I'm going to do my floors. I like to plan out my floors so I can do all my cutting at the beginning and I don't have to keep going back and forth to cut more planks. So this part is totally optional, but I like to plan mine out. So my floor is 12 inches by 10 inches. So if my planks are 3/4 of an inch wide, I just did 12 inches divided by 0.75. I'm gonna have 16 rows. And then for each row, I plan out how long I want my planks, and there's a million ways to do this. I like to kind of change mine up so it doesn't look uniform the whole way across. So I'm gonna do one row will have two 5-inch planks, and then another row will have two 3.5-inch and 3-inch planks, because that adds up to 10, and then I'll just alternate between those two. So based on that, I'm gonna need to cut 16 5-inch planks, 16 3.5-inch planks, and 8 3-inch planks. And okay, now it's time to cut the planks. And I had told you before I use my paper cutter, and what I love about the paper cutter is that it has a built-in ruler on it, so I don't have to measure my planks every single time. I can just line it up with whatever I need and make my cut. So it helps it go super fast, but like I said, you can also just use regular scissors. All right, there you have it. Lots and lots of floor planks. Time to add the wood floors. So I have my iron on a hot setting and it's warmed up and ready to go. So I like to start against the wall. So that way, if there's a mistake on the plank up here, it's a lot easier to change this plank than it is to change this. And the great thing about this iron-on veneer edging is that if you don't like how it looks, or if you put it in the wrong spot, you can just add more heat to it and the glue will come back up. So it's really easy to rearrange. So I'm just gonna hold my plank against the wall, and I just use my iron. If you need something to get into a smaller space, you can get smaller heat presses, but so far I've managed to just get away with using an iron. You just apply heat along the plank, and there you go, it's glued down. Okay, and now for my next one, do it there. Super easy. So there you go, first row done. So for my very last row, I need these to be just like, I need to shave off just a little hair off of them. So I'm just going to use a good pair of scissors and just trim off a tiny little bit of the edge. And it's Alright, and there you have it. Unfinished dollhouse floor. And if you notice any like curling on the edges, that's pretty common while the glue is still pretty hot. As it settles and dries, the planks will lay a lot flatter. And sometimes they curl a little bit, but it's usually not that noticeable. So just let it set for a few minutes before you finish the floor. Now it's time to finish the floor. So you can do this a variety of ways. You can leave it unfinished, which I think it's just beautiful like this. You could stain it whatever color you want. You could paint it. I'm going to whitewash mine so that a little bit of the wood grain still peeks through rather than solid painting it white. So to do that, I just need some whitewash pickling and a paintbrush. If you're using a darker stain and you've already painted your dollhouse and already have your floor in your dollhouse, I would recommend putting painter's tape around the edge so you don't mess up your walls. But since I'm doing white and my walls are white, I don't really care, and it'll be easy for me to go in and touch up with a small paintbrush. So I just dip it in, and I want my whitewash to be pretty heavy, so I'm not going to wipe off the whitewashing like you can. And you just go and apply it. Get into the corners, along the edges, without hitting the wall too much. And there you go. So now I'm going to finish staining the bottom of the floor. Here are my finished whitewashed wood floors. I hope you like this and that you'll subscribe so you can see more miniature tutorials. Thanks for watching.